Thanks for the introduction, Nick, and good afternoon to my shareholders out here, who I love.
I'm just going to hand the clicker to Rob, because we do have a couple of supporting images to throw up behind us. Tim, firstly, thanks for your support of RRS, and thanks to you and Linda for being here for the couple of days. It's great to have you here.
No, likewise, Nick. I'd like to thank you and Sharon and Paul, and you've been great supporters for decades almost, and so it's been a long trip, but we've enjoyed it, and we're getting there. But thank you.
I thought we might start with a bit of history, if that's okay, Tim, and Rob's going to throw up a slide behind us, which sort of summarises the Liontown journey. What an incredible journey it has been. Can you just give us a bit of a sense of, well, how did you get into lithium, and how did the Kathleen Valley story come about?
Yeah, it looks quite depressing when you look at that screen there and you see the flat line, and you think, one of my mates said, is your share a bond? It just doesn't move. But for a period there, I think about 2010, I might have it wrong, but I knew David Richards, who became the managing director, and I knew David back in the 70s when he was with Battle Mountain Gold Company. And David joined me and on escapade to Tanzania, and we were basically broke, but I had spent a fair bit of time in a country called Eritrea with Chalice Gold, and we did all right out of that one. And I said, Dave, we're going to do the same thing here, buy low, sell high. And so we looked for projects in Tanzania and picked up some quite nice gold projects. But unfortunately, there was a change of government there and things were getting a bit hard. So we had a bit of a closed door conversation. We decided collectively as a board to look for new age minerals, and that's when we decided to get into lithium. And there was a lithium project in Tanzania which we pursued briefly. But we also looked internationally right through Africa, and we were very much aware of the ones in the DRC and Ethiopia and Namibia, South Africa. We went to Canada, where in fact Chalice was working in Canada at that point. So we went through a half a dozen projects there now, and we probably should have grabbed a lot, but we decided, well, let's concentrate in West Australia, which we did. And we picked up 4 projects, Bino, Kathleen Valley, and Boldonia, and one other. And so that's how we got into lithium.
So Tim, you first presented here in 2018. You just started working on Kathleen Valley, and you were well into the exploration. We all know that as a junior, it's a world that can be littered with challenges and setbacks. But when did you first know that you were onto something at Kathleen Valley?
Well, I guess just before David Richards presented there that year, and I presented for Chalice, and I think Chalice was 17 cents, and what I think we were 2 or 3 cents. But a few months earlier, David and I had a discussion with a merchant banker about how many tonnes we had out there at Liontown. And David, being a very conservative geologist, and those of you know David, he's ultra conservative, but a true professional. And he said to me, and these merchant bankers, there's 10 million tonnes there. And I said, bullshit, David, there's bloody 20 million tonnes there. Anyway, we eventually got a JORC resource out, and we presented here in 2018. And that's when I knew we were onto something good. And, less promotion, and it gives you a lot more confidence when you actually got the deposit in the ground. And we all know what's there now. We just got a mega deposit. It's equivalent to 15 million ounces of gold, right, in simple terms. So, that I think when we came here for that conference, Nick, there was no hard sell. Yep. It was like we had it.
And that first resource, Tim, of 21 million tonnes, I think it came out that year. And then obviously, and Rob's brought up a slide there just to show Kathleen Valley in context. What does make it stand out? What are the key attributes that really make it?
Well, there's some big bubbles there. I mean, in the good sense. But, Greenbushes, there's three parties. There's three different companies feeding out of Greenbushes. It's a massive deposit. It's the best deposit in the world. And then you've got Pilgangoora, which is equally a good deposit. It's a fantastic deposit. But that's 100% owned by Pilbara, and with a company capitalised at over $13 billion. And then, of course, you've got Wodgina with MRL and Albemarle. And then you have Mount Holland, which is Covalent, which is SQM and Wesfarmers, a joint venture, 50-50, but we own 100% of Kathleen Valley, and there's 156 million tonnes JORC resource there, but it's open. We haven't closed it off yet, and that's our story.
So it must be very rewarding for you personally, Tim, to see this project now moving into construction, and I think we've got a 3D visualisation coming up here, which just to give people a sense of the scale of this project. I think you call it a rock factory.
Well, actually, I got a contractor mate who's actually bidding for the underground here, called it a rock factory. One Bill Beermont, and I think that goes with the project. Look at the size of this thing. It's like having an open cut without the sky. It's huge. It's going to produce, for 25 years at least, and produce in the order of between 600 to 650,000 tonnes of spodumene concentrate, which today is selling for $4,200 a tonne. Don't believe all that consensus crap out there. Sorry, brokers, but you lost that one. So if I dial up fast markets, that's what the price is today, $4,200 US, and we're going to be producing 600,000 tonnes per year.
And Tim, if I'm not mistaken, this will be in your career where you've had many successes, but this will be the first mine that you're taking all the way into production. I think the gold mine in Eritrea you sold before at DFS stage. So just tell us a bit about what it means to you personally.
Oh, well, it's fantastic to leave a legacy. It's unfortunately it's come towards there. And it's not the end of my career yet, but I would have liked it to happen a few years back. But this exploration business is a very, very hard business, and when you get onto a fabulous asset like this, and you can be very, very proud of it. I hope our shareholders are proud of it, and I think that we're going to demonstrate when we go into production mid next year that this truly is a legacy asset.
We've got some pictures, and I think we might have a video come up here. Whoops, here we go. We've got some music as well.
Yeah.
We'll just watch this for a minute. So that's a great overview, Tim. We can see lots going on site. Yep, round of applause. Maybe just give us a quick update on what is actually happening, and also how you're dealing with some of the inflationary pressures.
Well, I think we dealt with, we came clean in January, increase in CapEx from 500 odd million to around a figure of 900 million. Look, there is inflation in Australia, and particularly West Australia. But we're dealing with that. The important thing is to get on schedule, and as you can see, there's a lot happening on site. We have 400 people on site, and we had no camp there at the start of October last year. The mining contractor started in the first week of January, and now moving around the order of 500 to 600,000 BCM per month. They're into it. The underground contract is probably the only major contract to be let over in the next few months. We've let all the steelwork contract. You can see the camp there. It's going to be 600 people. The camp now can handle 600. It's going to 660, and it's happening, big time.
Tim, I wanted to ask you a bit about the lithium sector generally. It's a hot topic. It's in the news all the time. There's the naysayers, there's the positive view, etc. But you made a conscious decision to go into lithium some time ago. Give us your view on your take on the broader outlook for the.
Well, I think you've got to unwind all the emotion around it. What is lithium used for? EVs and wall units, power units. And if anyone has driven an EV car, you won't go back, right? It's a great product, right? And that's going to drive the lithium industry. And it's not easy finding these large lithium deposits. We've tried pretty hard, and we're still trying, but other companies are trying around the world. And the underlying thing I said earlier is the market. And this is going to be a very, very strong industry. And when you've got car manufacturers, the OEMs who are used to buying windscreen wipers, ringing up China or Japan, it's not like that. Right? They've got to go down or upstream to get involved into this end of the market. And I just bought an EV car, fantastic. I feel 40 years younger.
So speaking of the hot lithium market, it's obviously there's a lot of M&A interest at the moment, and I can't let you go today without asking you about all the takeover speculation about Liontown. It's been the big story of the last few weeks. How do you manage that? What steps are you taking as a board to defend against opportunistic approaches?
Well, I'm a bit different. To a lot of people say, I want to defend my company, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, number one, I've got 15% of the company. I've got all your people out there. I've got 30,000 shareholders in the company who have been very supportive. But also equally, Albemarle are a very good company, and I was privileged that they approached us and made us an offer of $2.20, then $2.35, and then $2.50. Now, we believe that the cash flow that this project's going to generate over 2 years, they'll pay for it. So we're talking $2.5 billion a year of free cash flow. So, we're not selling this company on consensus. I've told Kent there, my friend at Albemarle, and so we'll just see what happens. Look, it's nothing like wake up in the morning and getting a dividend. And at our age, I wouldn't mind it. So we'll see what happens.
And not far away now.
No, it was literally 12, 13 months away. We'll start putting the oil through, and we'll be shipped out through Geraldton. But I've got to say that we've got 3 major off-take agreements with LG, Tesla, and Ford. So we've got great partners.
Tim, Liontown has been an amazing story, for people in this room who have been part of the journey over the last 5 or so years. But perhaps for the benefit of those that may be hearing it for the first time today, if you could just give us a quick snapshot in your view, why Liontown and why now?
Well, I think when you look in the industry, I'm a believer of the industry. Number one, we've got a long-term mine there, 25 years. We're in a new age product, and it's only going to get bigger. When you've got OEMs spending trillions, literally trillions, and they've got to get the lithium from somewhere. I just want to keep it in simple terms. I think our future is very, very bright.
And just finally, Tim, you've been an successful mining entrepreneur and also a very successful investor over the years. So, just for the benefit of retail shareholders, when you're looking at making investment decisions, you're looking at that list of presenting companies, and Chalice and Liontown were part of the crowd a few years ago. I mean, what do you look for personally when you make investment decisions? Well,
I'll just step back there, Nick. Is that it's not an easy business, and I look at the presentations and I think, hey, this morning, I think, well, hey, that could have been us back in 2018. You don't know when the next drill hole is going to come in, right? Now, all bodies they say, great minds make great mine managers. Well, great discovery make great entrepreneurs. So how do you pick them? I think, I guess my model really is, it took me a while to learn it. I didn't want to be a day trader. I didn't want to be a month trader. I wanted to own the company or have a big chunk in it so I controlled my destiny. So then, for investors, I'd line up with people who've actually written a check out. And it's very hard to get geologists to pull a few dollars out of their pocket. I'll give you the tip. But if you find one, they're worth backing. And look, I'm not a geologist, and I've been in this trade. I've picked my first tenement at 20 years old. But I think that you've got to have perseverance. You've got to have energy, real energy. You've got to be able to get up and get. After you've been knocked down 15 times. And, I've had brokers slam the door on me. And, that's pretty hard when you're trying to raise money. And, but the underlying theme I'm trying to get across there is that you've got to have someone who's going to stay with you, not just there for a job. I invest in other companies at the moment, and it really peeves me off when you put money in on one project and it fails, and next minute all the management teams are gone. And that's not a great situation. So, look, I don't know how many shells out there. How many companies out there? There's probably 1,000 or 1,200.
Lots and lots. Yeah.
There's lots and lots, and it's like throwing darts. But the good thing about it is you get it right in this business, and you can change your life. And hopefully, I've changed the life, or our team has, our board, the David Richards of the world, the Tony Ottavianas have changed the world, people's world, and that's what we endeavour to try and do. So if you can lock onto one of those, please give me a ring, and but they're hard to find.
Tim, look, our time's up, unfortunately. We could sit here talking all day, I suspect, but very well spoken. Look, and thank you, congratulations on Liontown and the other companies. Please give a big hand to Tim.
Thanks, Nicholas. Nicholas and Sharon and Paul, and they have been very close to me and helped me. They went through periods where we couldn't pay you. But I also want to thank the investors. I don't take for granted the support you've given me, and thank you.
Thanks very much.